ethics debate. We have gathered here tonight to hear argument one of the most controversial and relevant ethical issues facing the university today, the single sanction. The resolution before the House tonight is simple but provocative. Resolved, the single sanction is unethical. This discussion is not really concerned with the practical or logistic challenges that surround enforcing the single sanction, only the ethical merit of the policy and theory. For if it can be proven that this is the right thing to do, no obstacle should prevent us, the students of Virginia, from realizing that vision. So come.
Thank you. First of all, can you please define the word sanction for me?
Sure. So I know exactly where you're going with this. The honor system is, in fact, a system of punishment. The word sanction is used.
Okay, thank you. So what would you say the purpose of the honor code is?
The purpose of the honor code is to communicate community of trust with the university.
Okay, and why is the single sanction the only way of reaching the end of that community of trust?
The purpose of the community of trust is that you can trust that everyone at this university does not lie, cheat, or steal from you or others.
So once a liar, always a liar? Once a cheater, always a cheater?
That's not necessarily the case. However, the system we've set up is established so that we will not we've said that we will not tolerate these acts, and we don't want students at this university who perpetuate these acts. Now, I'm not saying that you can't learn from the act and grow and not lie or cheat in the future. However, the system we have here, the community of trust we have here, means that we have to do it outside this community as opposed to inside.
So how does that create a community if all of this rehabilitation is occurring outside of the community? By definition, it's not a part of the community.
You have to understand the honor system's main purpose is not necessarily rehabilitative. There is a clear rule that you are not supposed to violate. If you violate it, your rehabilitation is voluntary on your own terms. The purpose of the system is to protect those students who remain at the university.
I'm a huge fan of the community of trust. That's a big part of why I chose to come to UVA. But that doesn't mean that the only way to best defend the community of trust is with this single so hard punishment tool, excuse me, that doesn't properly address all the different needs that we talked about in our case. The next thing he says is that an absolute intolerance would be gone. The problem is that right now we already don't have absolute intolerance. As Trisha brought up before, 6 out of 10 people at this university say that they have observed an honor offense and not reported it. How can we possibly say that that's absolute intolerance? Great. What do you think are I know you mentioned a lot of the benefits of the community of trust. Do you think that we as students currently get those benefits?
Well, as a guy coming here for grad school as opposed to undergrad, absolutely I think we get many of those benefits.
Great. And which specifically do you think we would lose without a single sanction system?
I think the value of the degree decreases when it's possible to go through an educational system and cheat your way through. I think that you actually reduce the deterrent effect by saying that, well, there are lots of things you can actually get away with. And I think we lose the benefit of having uniformity and punishment across years and across panels when we go to a sort of ad hoc ways like this. We're calling on students to make determinations that are not well obtained.
Do you think that a student should report to all acts of lying, cheating, and stealing that they observe in the honor committee?
You should absolutely report honor offenses. It's part of your duty as a student.
You also mentioned during your last speech that you think underreporting happens in any sanction system. Do you think that underreporting would happen as much in a non-single sanction system?
It's really always an interesting exercise to try to guess how many times a thing that is never reported will never be reported. So I don't think that we actually really well equipped to even answer the question.
You also mentioned in your last speech that people who fail or had the possible punishment of failing the class have the same incentive to lie during their trial. What if the incentive for not lying during their trial was that you might not get kicked out, you might just only fail your class?
You still actually have an incentive to lie. Anytime you have any sort of significant sanction on the table, there's going to be an incentive to do what you can to avoid that significant sanction.
Well,
so like sanctions.
Right, but what if the punishment for getting caught lying during the trial was that then you would get kicked in? Then you would have a two-stage incentive system that would make a lot more sense.
Steve, could you please introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure, my name is Stephen Nash. I'm a 4th year in the College of Arts and Sciences, and I'm the chair of the honor committee this year.
Okay, so what do you think of today's debate?
I think it was a really interesting event. The committee's top priority this year has been to engage students in a really substantial way, and we started the year out with a roundtable in Old Capitol Hall, and we think that this was another large event that will hopefully spark conversation, get people thinking about what it means to live within their community of trust and our honor system here in UVA.
Okay, So from your opinion, how could the debate help honor committee's job?
For me, and I think Dean Rose touched upon this at the end, the hallmark of our system, it is the oldest student self-governed system in the country. And I think part of self-governance is a responsibility to make sure that we are protecting the system and passing it down stronger than what we found it to future generations of students. And I think the biggest thing this debate can do is to continue to have people think critically about the system, think constructively about it, and think about what it means to them. And I think this is one event which will hopefully be able to have people really think about how has my university experience been enriched by the community of trust, or what's something that I might want to improve about the system as well.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.